Finding joy in everyday living. It's a balancing act, right? Every minute of every day, you choose what to do. This thing will take you away from that thing. In fact, today, you're here supporting a friend, and you probably would rather be grocery shopping. It's all about balance, right? So people say to me, well, how do you do it? You have so much on the go. You're juggling all these priorities and you're already so happy and positive. How do you do it? What's your secret? Well, I'm here to tell you it's a myth. There is no balance, people. It's not real. There's no equilibrium. It's always going to be juggling, pushing, pulling, tugging. And some people would actually say that there's good versus evil pulling at you every day. 2 years ago, I found myself in the most beautiful heavenly space. There were people in the back. My dad was sitting in the front. He had his briefcase between his knees. My brother was sitting right beside him, unsmiling as he often was in life. And in the back row, I could see my cousin Barb waving to me with her big smile, the way she always did when I went to visit her. Cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all calling me wordlessly toward them. I wanted so desperately to go. I wanted to be in that place of warmth, safety, inclusion, love. But I couldn't go. There was this railroad track and this crossing arm. It was preventing me from moving forward. I wanted so desperately to go, but I couldn't. It was not my time. The next minute, I was blinded by fluorescent lights. Beeping, noises, faces, words being said, confusion, disappointment, desperately disappointed. I wanted so badly to be back in that other place, but I was not. I was here. That morning in May of 2024 started just like any other. I got up, I got dressed, and I was going to take my dogs for a walk. We went out of the house, headed toward the park. And something was wrong. Something was off. I felt really unwell. My breath was coming too fast. My heart started pounding, kind of like it is now. And my legs were heavy. And I felt like I was walking through molasses. By the time I got home, I said to my husband, there is something really wrong with me. Can you take me to the hospital? So we got to the hospital, and within minutes of arriving, they called a code blue. It was for me. Fast forward, 17 blood transfusions, 24 days in hospital. Obscure, occult, something, GI bleed. The words didn't make any sense to me. Basically, they had no idea what happened to me. During those days, I knew that I was meant to be here on this earth and not in heaven with my dad and my brother and my cousin and all my other relatives. So I made a pledge of gratitude, grateful for every single moment of this life. I started a gratitude journal. I started writing everything down. I made my husband go out and buy me scribblers and pencils and pens. And I started to record. Grateful for yellow jello today. Grateful green jello today. The next day, 2 helpings of jello. That was a screwer. The first time I was able to get into a wheelchair and then go downstairs and outside to feel the sun on my face. That was awesome. Scientists tell us that the practice of gratitude can create profound changes in our own resilience and our own wellness. I started to practice gratitude. It's not enough just to say I'm grateful. I made my husband go out and buy chocolates and candies and thank you cards. And we wrote cards and he delivered them to the nursing station, to the transportation department, to the CT scan department, the lab, housekeeping. They came in and washed my floor every day. Nurses, doctors, everyone. I was grateful to everybody for another opportunity at life. While I was there, I had time to reflect. I was reflecting on my childhood. I was the child of an alcoholic father and a mother who was trying her best to survive every day. Being a child in that home meant that I was often small, hidden, trying to keep out of the way, trying to keep the peace, stay silent. Kids that grow up in homes like mine report that they're very often anxious, that they carry feelings of guilt and unworthiness. These things were true for me. I developed and I understood, and kids like me also understand that love is something that you don't deserve. It's something you have to earn. So I started into a life of striving, overperforming. During my teenage years, unfortunately, my early years primed me for someone who used manipulation and control to isolate me from my family. And when I finally broke free of that situation, I found myself alone, penniless, and homeless. But I remembered a lady who had once shown me a simple kindness at a workplace. She said, if you ever need anything, just call me. So I did. Midnight, from the bus station, I phoned her. And she came to pick me up, no questions asked. So I was no longer homeless. I could sleep on her couch as long as I needed to. Big time imbalance. Big time evil. Fast forward, 1991. I met my now husband, Timothy. We got married, and together we had 4 beautiful children, and they're all here today supporting me. Throughout it all, I never stopped overachieving, never stopped trying to achieve something more, prove that I was worthy, prove that I deserved the love. And it was a cycle. Overstrive, overachieve, depression, burnout, therapists, self-help books, psychologists, psychiatrists, rinse, repeat. That was my life. Until that day, 2 years ago, in May of 2024, when my body finally said, enough. So what does this have to do with balance? Well, what I've learned is that life was not like this balance scale. We're in the pile, everything on one side and the other. There's work over here, and there's life over there, and there's piano lessons and music lessons and the gym and the project and the volunteerism. You can see and you know it doesn't work. There's always going to be conflicting priorities. But what I learned throughout this process is that the practice of gratitude can create harmony, which creates joy. Joy doesn't just happen. You can't just put it on the scale. That's not how it works. I also did something else very interesting. I started to pray in the air with some letters. And if you'll follow me right now and take your finger and make a P and also a G, and then continue, just join them, P, G in the air, you'll see that they infinitely join together and create harmony. Practicing gratitude creates harmony. The practice of gratitude is what makes us well. So before you came here today, you probably we're going to go grocery shopping or somewhere else. There's a priority that you gave up to come here to support your friend. So when you leave here today and you go to that grocery store and you pick up that bag of oranges that you're checking for perfection, pause for a moment and think about the person whose hands picked that so that you could have those oranges for your family and be grateful. Practice gratitude. Gratitude takes practice. It's not something that you're just going to say and not do. It doesn't work that way. When you practice gratitude, you will create your own personal harmony, and it will be infinite and unique as you are and as I am. We are all unique. We all have our own special set of circumstances that brought us here today. You may not have had any control over how you got here or what happened to you before you got here, but you do have control over what you do from now forward. The practice of gratitude creates harmony, and harmony will bring joy to everyday living. I am grateful to be here today. Thank you.